The search for victims continues after devastating twin earthquakes struck Venezuela 5 days ago. A 7.2 and a 7.5 earthquake hit just 39 seconds apart from each other. More than 1,700 have died, tens of thousands still missing. Rescuers from 27 countries are searching through the rubble, including 300 Americans. Aftershocks continue to be a problem for searchers. More than 600 of them have hit since Wednesday's quakes. And with the devastation in Venezuela, people here in Northwest Arkansas are stepping up to help their home country. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer shows us how the community is coming together from countries away.
More clothing, it's a lot of clothes.
Galeksi Gotopopel's home is now filled with essentials.
Perishable food and, a lot of this.
She lives in Rogers. She hasn't lived in Venezuela since she was 17, but she says it will always be home.
It's very welcoming. It's a place that we don't see race or we don't see origin or color.
And now her home needs all the help it can get.
Cannot waste my time on being sad. I know that it's a disaster. All I can do is try to help.
She, along with other Venezuelans across Northwest Arkansas, is collecting donations for people impacted by the earthquakes.
I'm really happy. I'm proud of the community.
Mariana Cervini says her country is a place with lots of riches. A proud Venezuelan who opened up Naguada in Springdale back in 2020. Today, it's not just a food truck serving Venezuelan food, but a donation site. She says they have practically nothing because the people have not just lost their house, but they lost everything. Mariana says supporting her country during its time of need is personal. Because she's a mother, too. They're collecting non-perishable food, hygiene products, pet food, and other essentials. Because even thousands of miles away, when home needs help, you find a way to answer.
I'm so happy that it's full, I have jackets, something for cold weather.
Covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
By the way, that group is accepting donations until Sunday. Donations will then be taken by Jesus Cargo, which will drive them and fly them to impacted areas in Venezuela. Arkansas State Police say a 22-year-old died after a crash on Friday in Fayetteville. It happened just before midnight on Old Missouri Road. Police say Jackson Drury of Fayetteville was driving north near Brentwood Lane when he ran off the road, hit an embankment, and went airborne. The truck he was driving then hit a tree and Drury was ejected. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Arkansas is getting ready for new requirements that will change what SNAP benefit recipients can buy at the grocery store. Starting on Wednesday, people can no longer use food stamps to buy unhealthy foods like candy or soda. The restrictions also apply to fruit or vegetable juices with less than 50% real juice. Governor reiterated today why she believes her request for the new rules will make the state healthier.
This is not about taking something away. The government is not dictating what you can and cannot buy with your own money. We're simply saying the taxpayer is not going to subsidize candy and soft drinks. Food stamps are supposed to be a nutrition program, not drive unhealthy habits and contribute to our nation's mountain of debt.
The state is also launching a new app called Arkansas SNAP Companion. It can scan products in stores and indicate whether they are covered by those benefits. Meanwhile, the governor will make a visit to Siloam Springs tomorrow after proclaiming the city as state capital for the day. It's a program that brings state officials around to highlight cities and get them to meet with their local counterparts. The governor is set to visit Parisia Coffee House, the Woka Whitewater Park, Simmons Foods, and will host a meet and greet at Torres Family Barn at 11:30. She'll round out the day with a roundtable on her faith-based poverty program at New Life Church. A Fayetteville council member is proposing an ordinance that would ban the city from signing non-disclosure agreements with businesses. Just 11 days ago, the city won a lawsuit over its handling of FOIA requests related to NDAs signed during negotiations with Swarm Arrow. A city memo says the ordinance is meant to bolster transparency. Now, the ordinance would not outright ban NDAs. Council would approve signing one during a public meeting. City has already changed its policies over NDAs, requiring approval from the mayor and the city attorney. Tomorrow is just an agenda session for the city, so the soonest that the council can vote on the new rule would be next Tuesday. We have dealt with higher than average gas prices for the first part of the year, but now the trend is moving the other way in the past month. According to AAA, today's average price per gallon in Arkansas stands at $3.46. It's a dime less from last week and more than 50 cents lower than a month ago. AAA says lower than average crude oil prices is the main reason why.
As long as crude oil remains lower, close to where it's at, we still could see declines in the local gas prices. We know that gas prices tend to come up quickly when oil prices rise, and they take a little bit of time to come down once we see oil prices sink. So there is still room for, gas prices to decline some more.
AAA says summer travel and the seasonal blend of gas also big factors. They also say rising confidence in the Middle East peace talks is another big reason for the declining prices. After a tense weekend in the Middle East in which the U.S. and Iran both conducted strikes, the president says a meeting between the U.S. and Iran will take place in Qatar as soon as tomorrow. Jesse Mitchell reports this comes as the White House warns Iran it's not afraid to use its military might.
Tensions rose in the Middle East over the weekend, with Iran attacking U.S. allies Kuwait and Bahrain by missile and by drone in response to 2 nights of U.S. airstrikes on the Iranian regime. On Monday, President Trump announced on social media the Iranians have asked for a meeting in Doha, Qatar, Tuesday.
There'll be a meeting on that tomorrow in Doha, and to go into Qatar. I think they've already left, or they're just about getting ready to leave. So we'll see how that goes, but we're doing very well on that front.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed the meeting on Fox News.
Iran has requested a meeting this week, so Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be flying to Doha for high-level meetings this week as we continue to discuss the memorandum of understanding.
But while the administration says a meeting is scheduled, Al Jazeera reports the Iranian Foreign Ministry is saying it won't hold any negotiations with the U.S. in coming days. The White House has said repeatedly if Iran doesn't accept the terms of the deal it's offering, the U.S. will utilize military force in the region.
The president obviously wants to see the peace process play out, and the Iranians would be best to sign a good deal with the United States of America because the president has proven he's unafraid to use the might of our military.
Since entering into the signed memorandum of understanding, the U.S. and Iran have met just once for talks held earlier this month in Switzerland. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, New York.
Iran's deputy foreign minister said today Iran will work independently to remove mines from the Strait of Hormuz in the coming weeks. That strait remains a very critical waterway for the oil industry. About a fifth of the world's oil supply traditionally flows through that strait. The Fort Smith Police Department is asking you to stay alert after 10 recent black bear sightings around the city. Bears have been spotted along Albert Pike, O Street, Rogers Avenue. And Game and Fish says bears usually aren't coming into neighborhoods by accident. They're following the smell of food often found in your trash can, so they recommend securing them, bringing pet food inside, and removing other food scents like residue left on barbecue grills or even bird feeders. If you see a bear, Fort Smith PD says to contact their non-emergency line and do not approach or feed the bear. Well, days after the Fort Smith Museum of History canceled an event with a White House initiative, a local church says it's now going to host the Freedom 250 truck. And we're counting down the hours until the U.S. men's national team takes the pitch for their first knockout match. A closer look at what could be their path to making history.
And I think this about sums it up here. Hot, humid, and dry. That's going to be the story here all through the end of the week. We'll be tracking it all in just a few minutes.
Oh, you've probably seen this video by now. It's a scary situation in Dyer, Arkansas, after fireworks during a city event are seen shooting back at the crowd. Now, thankfully, no one was hurt. According to police, a pyrotechnic reviewed several videos and determined the incident was accidental, the result of a defective firework. Now, the event was a fundraiser for the fire department there in Dyer, and the fireworks show was conducted by a master pyrotechnic. With the 4th of July celebrations just around the corner, local veterinarians are reminding pet owners not every member of the family is excited about fireworks. Fayetteville Veterinary Care says the days leading up to July 4 can be some of the busiest for veterinarians and animal shelters. Loud fireworks can cause anxiety in pets, leading some to panic and run away. They recommend bringing pets inside before fireworks begin and create a quiet, comfortable space for them to relax.
I recommend not having dogs out at firework displays. Don't leave them in your yard. Dogs can scale fences that you wouldn't ordinarily think they would do when they get scared, and get pheromones or anti-anxiety medications from your veterinarian to help with keeping them calm and stress-free.
Dr. Hill says making sure your pet is microchipped and always wearing a collar can make all the difference if a problem arises over the weekend. The Freedom 250 truck will be in Fort Smith after all. After the Fort Smith Museum of History canceled its appearance, Victory Church in Fort Smith signed on to bring it to town. Church pastor Ryan Rowe says his church is thrilled to get the truck here.
We knew that the Freedom truck needed a home for this July event, and we just felt incredibly honored that they didn't just consider us, but that they chose us to be a suitable host for this event. And we consider it a great honor. And I think that there's many other places across Fort Smith, Van Buren, the River Valley, who would have been honored as well if they had had the opportunity. We're just thankful to be able to partner with them on this.
The truck will be on the church parking lot on Brook and Hill Drive in South Fort Smith starting July 10th through the 12th and be open from 10 to 6 all 3 days. Flyovers from the Arkansas National Guard began today in honor of the 4th of July. The National Guard will fly over our region later this week with C-130 Hercules cargo planes and UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters. Weather permitting, they're expected to fly over the River Valley tomorrow and then northwest Arkansas on Thursday. Hopefully the weather will be nice for that. It will be hot and humid. Let's talk about the forecast again, taking a live look now out over the full moon tonight. This is strawberry moon tonight. How gorgeous was this?
It is beautiful. Yeah, I have our camera here from Poto pulled up because it's not too often that you see the moon this bright. Especially at this time of the night. It's 86 right now in Poto. Area-wide, clear skies, bright moonlit sky there. Temperatures in the low 80s. So more about this strawberry moon. We call it the strawberry moon. It doesn't look like a strawberry, but this is actually the time of the year when strawberries tend to ripen. It was officially its fullest a couple hours ago in the evening at 6:56 earlier this evening. All right, look at these. Feels like temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, even some 90s out there at 10:16 at night. It is just so humid, so warm. We had a very warm day, especially across the River Valley where we had heat advisories in effect. Now, the reason being high pressure is still parked off to our south and east, and this ridge will continue to build into place over the next couple of days or so. So we're talking about hot conditions, humid conditions, and minimal chances for any rain in the forecast. As we head into the overnight hours for northwest Arkansas, clear skies, and then we wake up tomorrow with abundant sunshine. Temperatures will quickly rebound. We're talking near 90 degrees by 11 a.m. for the River Valley, and we'll hardly see any clouds in the sky. Now, overnight tonight, it'll be warm, it'll be mild, mid to upper 70s out there. Still a lighter breeze out of the south from time to time. Then tomorrow, wow, 97 in Ozark as well as Clarksville. How about 91 degrees for Fayetteville? So Futurecast will take you into the overnight hours. It's painting a pretty quiet picture. We're not tracking anything in the way of clouds or any rain out there. Skies will be mostly sunny to fully sunny tomorrow. It would be a picture-perfect day to jump in that pool. As you see, our pool planner takes us to 90 degrees by 4 o'clock tomorrow. If you live in the River Valley, how about 94 degrees and some blistering sunshine? Make sure you're wearing that sunscreen. Now here's the overall pattern. That ridge continues to build in place, and it'll stick with us through the Independence Day holiday. This is what we're looking at. 93, that is the 4th of July there for Northwest Arkansas. 98 degrees for the River Valley. And notice our rain chances are minimal, only about 20 to maybe 30%. So yeah, it's a hot stretch of weather. We take a look at that 10-day forecast, and I see a lot of sun. I don't see a lot of storm icons on there. We'll be lucky if we could get a cooling shower maybe on Sunday. The River Valley, more of the same. Talking about 98 on Saturday, 97 on Sunday, Darren. Yeah, it's just hot.
Well, it's about time.
I mean, we are a little bit overdue for it.
Well, we had all the rain last week. I know it was a little warmish last week, but I think this is what we're supposed to be seeing right about now.
Yeah, I would say it's not anything out of the ordinary.
Okay, Dominic, thanks. Appreciate that. Hype around the United States men's national team is at an all-time high with their success in the group round as well as the World Cup being played on home soil. But if the Americans want to make history, their path will most likely not be an incredible challenge. Jake Garriani explains from the team's training facility in California.
This United States men's national team winning Group D and advancing to the knockout round to face Bosnia and Herzegovina has American fans dreaming big. But look, winning a World Cup is incredibly difficult, so much so that only 8 nations have ever done it in the 22 times this tournament has been played since its inception in 1930. But now that that knockout stage is set, we have an idea of what could be a potential path through the World Cup for the U.S., and this appears like it would be a gauntlet for the Americans if the bracket went this way. Without there being an upset in the World Cup, if they win their round of 32 over Bosnia, the Americans would likely face Belgium. If the Americans could get past Belgium in the round of 16, it's probable that Spain is waiting for them in the quarterfinals. And if the U.S. could somehow get past the powerhouse of Spain, well, guess who would most likely be sitting in the semifinals? The 2-time World Cup champions in the world's #2 ranked team in France.
I mean, every opponent, can come our way at this stage. It's a knockout round, and if you want to win this trophy, the World Cup, you got to beat everyone, and be able to beat everyone.
We have very high expectations for ourselves for the rest of this tournament, and we don't want this to be over. Embracing everything that that this journey is taking us on, and embracing everything that it's going to throw at us from here on out.
There's no hiding. We do have the opportunity to do something extremely special. So, you can't have the good with the bad. We have the opportunity to do something very special, but we also, can lose, and it'll be a lot of commiserations and a lot of annoyed people and upset people. So we definitely do have the opportunity to really, make a fantastic run.
And for now, it is all just a dream as we look so far ahead, but we will see what type of reality this American team can make of it. In Irvine, California, with the United States men's national team, I'm Jake Garriani.